All right, I think I have two cases left, and let's first take Palmer and Palmer. I see Jason Palmer is here. Is Jessica Palmer here?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good morning. Just give me a moment.
Your Honor. Your Honor, Casey Lynn, on behalf of the state, we just put in a notice of appearance.
Okay. So we're here for temporary orders, a parenting plan, and child support, although since the state's involved, I'm probably not going to order child support at this point. I'm going to let the state get involved.
That would be our request. Thank you, Your Honor.
These orders have been proposed by Jessica Palmer. Mr. Palmer, have you had a chance to review them?
I have.
Do you have an objection? And if you do, what can you tell me your objection?
Yes, Your Honor. My objection at the moment is for Jessica to actually have custody of the kids. I am not comfortable with that for a couple reasons. One, my children do not feel safe with her, and there are CPS reports stating that. Unfortunately, I was not able to get those reports in time. It takes 90 to 120 days to receive those. So I am still waiting, but I have a email correspondence from DCYF stating that they are looking for those records for me. And those records are stating that my kids do not feel safe living with their mother. And
you said you have custody. Is there an order to that effect at this point, or something from DCYF that indicates that?
I think so. I'm terribly sorry. I'm not really 100% sure on that paperwork stuff. But I am receiving child support and also food stamps at the moment for my children.
Okay, let me hear from Ms. Palmer about this, and then I think I know what we need to do today. Ms. Palmer, what's your response to that?
Your Honor, it
Yes.
has been almost 18 months since I left my husband. I lived in a domestic violence shelter due to the domestic violence that he put me through. I had a restraining order against him, which he violated numerous times, contacting me on Facebook Messenger, despite a judge telling him he could not contact me. I have all of my original messages and screenshots of him stating to me that he would not go through a third party, and I did not get to see or talk to my children until I dropped my restraining order. Year to date, I have given him $6,410 in child support, but I am being told by my coworker that lives in the same complex that for the third time in 18 months, my daughter does not have a decent pair of shoes, that she has holes in the bottom of her soles. And when my coworker asked her why she doesn't have a new pair of shoes, my daughter told her, "My dad's broke right now." When I had my kids for Christmas, which was the first time I had seen them since last August because he will not let me see them, my daughter told me that she didn't have any underwear that fit her, and that Jason had to cut the sides up of all of the underwear that she had, and that they pinched her. So despite the fact that he gets $641 a month from me in child support, I'm the parent that had to go to Walmart and buy her underwear to make sure that they fit her correctly. I still have the pair of shoes that he sent her to my house with in August, where the sole is almost completely falling apart. A few days prior to me having my kids, he posted on Facebook of the engine that he's building. He posted a picture of the engine he's building from the ground up And he intends to spend several $1,000s on a high performance engine, but he couldn't spend $10 on a pair of shoes for my daughter. And since child support has gone into effect, I work 2 full-time jobs. I work 7 days a week. Most of my shifts are 10 hours long, and I do that to ensure that he gets the child support and that my rent is paid, as well as my car insurance. I get 1 day off a month, and I haven't been allowed to see my children on the 1 day off that I have a month. I have had my kids stay at my house overnight a total of 2 times because he wouldn't let me. No, excuse me, 3 times, February, August, and December. I have had 7 visits with my children in a year and a half because he will not let me see them. I had tried to stay in contact with my son through text messages. And the last message that I got from my son said, "Mom, I love you. I don't want to live with you. I only want to visit you." This was a few days after I served my husband orders to be in court today on the restraining order. My children called me before I got this message from them, and they wanted to know why I served a restraining order against their dad again, why I keep hurting them. And my daughter's exact words were, "Now you can't see us for a really long time." I did not serve him with a restraining order this time, and I assured my children that I did not serve him with a restraining order and that I am doing everything in my power to see them more. But he has repeatedly told my children that I do not care about them anymore. I would also like to bring up the living conditions. My husband lives in a 23-foot motorhome, and there is absolutely no privacy. The kids basically have a bunk bed to themselves. At my house, I have a 2-bedroom apartment where I gave them each their own bedrooms. They have full-size beds, they have bedding, they have access to a shower. When I saw my children in February of last year, both Christmas and February, because of the condition of their hair, was absolutely atrocious. Last Christmas, a year ago, when I saw my kids, my daughter's hair was so matted, it looked like she had dreadlocks. And I had sent toiletries twice to make sure that they had shampoo and conditioner and body wash for their access. I have the receipts for that still. And when my daughter came to my house and I asked her why she wasn't using the shampoo and the conditioner, she said that because they run out of hot water too fast in the trailer, that they're not allowed to use the shampoo and the conditioner and the body wash. They're only allowed to use bar soap. My daughter's hair was so matted that before I could even wash her hair with soap, I had to put half a bottle of conditioner in her hair and let it soak in her hair for over 30 minutes before I could finger comb it out. When I finally got that out and I actually got shampoo in her hair, the water coming out of her hair was dark brown and oily. It made me gag. She had scalp chunks coming out. She had food chunks coming out. And when I finally got her out of the shower, I realized that she had lice. And I Googled the lifespan of lice, just so you know. In order for her to have all 3 stages of lice, both including the nits, the live bugs, and recently hatched eggs, she had to have had lice for over a month that my husband did not know about. I sent a message to my friend who was acting as our third party to let him know that the kids had lice. And his response was to tell her that I didn't know what I was talking about. It was paint or glitter in their hair.
All right, ma'am, I'll give you about 1 more minute.
Okay. I have the receipts for the shoes that I bought my children or my daughter in April. I have receipts for the toiletries that I have sent along. I have receipts for the underwear that I provided for my daughter. I just want to have a relationship with my kids, and I don't feel like Mr. Palmer has their best interests in mind. And he's stating that they don't feel safe when they're living with me, but they've only been at my house 3 times. They never once told me that they did not feel safe with me. They've asked me repeatedly when they get to come back and when they get to see me. I hate that I have missed a year and a half of my kids' lives, but once again, I had a restraining order in effect, and he chose to violate it numerous times. He told me he would not work with a third party. When we went before the judge for our child support hearing and the judge asked him about it, he said that no judge had assigned a third party and therefore he did not have to comply. The judge did not specifically assign a third party, but she made it very clear that he was not to contact me. He had to have third party contact at all times. And there is no custody order in place. He served temporary, or he filed in his original divorce. He filled out the first page and the last page of the custody. And the sole reason that he stated that he wants sole custody and zero contact from me at all were that the children are afraid I'm going to take them away from him and they don't want to live with me. He did not fill out another single page in that parenting plan. That was also his reasoning for trying to get a restraining order against me, which the other judge dropped. She did, however, feel that I needed to have a no contact order against Mr. Palmer for the mental abuse that he had. She made it very clear that he was not to contact me, not in person, not on Facebook Messenger, which once again, I have screenshots of every single message that he sent me during the time of my restraining order. He used my restraining order to keep me from my children.
Okay, Ms. Palmer, I need to kind of tell us what direction we're going to go in, okay?
Your Honor, if possible, I do have some more to say about all of that.
Well, let me just tell you what I do in these situations is I appoint what's called a guardian ad litem. And in this case, I'm going to appoint a guardian ad litem at county pay. They will interview both of you. They'll look into past issues with CPS. They'll talk to the children, and they'll advise me what their job is to tell me what's in the best interest of the children. And so that's what I'd like to look at. I understand you probably can address all of the issues that Ms. Palmer stated, but I think it just in terms of understanding all of this, it's going to be better if I appoint a guardian ad litem at this point.
Okay.
So typically we list 3 names. The clerk will tell us who the names are. Okay.
The date.
All right. So I'm going to appoint Ann Height as the guardian ad litem. I know this will be frustrating to Ms. Palmer, but Ms. Height needs some time to get information, meet with everybody before she can report back to me. And so I'm going to need to put a review out. I think we can go to the end of March. So that would be on March 29th. I'm not going to make any changes in where things are at right now, which means there may not be any contact between the children and the mom until then. When Ms. Height contacts you, it's important that you cooperate and give her all the information that you can. And it's certainly, Ms. Palmer, everything you've told me, you need to tell to Ms. Height so she has that information. Okay.
I'd be happy to tell her everything. I'd be happy to show her every message.
Okay. I'm saying that's what she's there for, to have you communicate all of that so she can make an informed decision. Mr. Palmer, similarly, whatever information you have that's important for her, you should give to her. Okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's the only order I'm going to enter today. Is I'm going to appoint Ann Height, and we'll be back here then on March 29th at 9 o'clock, hopefully for a review and an update at that time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.